which is the next large in the next 10 years. 20% of the Chinese.
Forum.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Hi there and welcome to the Monday edition of the Glenn Lal Show right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Those of you joining me, you can probably hear I'm out of breath, and I will explain why I'm out of breath this evening. I'm really surprised that we're actually having a show this Monday evening. Mr. Lal, you know, as a manager, it's my duty to know where you are, and I'm going to quite frankly say you're not going to be paid for today. Haven't seen you for the day. Just calling your phone, you're not answering. Sending you messages, you're not responding. You have an explanation to me as to where you were today. So, welcome to your show. Welcome to the Glenn Lal Show.
Namaste, Josh.
Namaste.
You shocked me there.
Namaste.
Oh, I was out today.
I couldn't find you.
I was out today. I was all day in court, Josh.
Oh, well, all right.
And like that gentleman just said in that video in Zambia, where the government took their copper mine and sold it for $25 million. In 3 months, the company made $75 million and pay off the Zambian government and owns the copper mine. You know, his last words was, we have to have an understanding. We have to make decisions that is sound. And when you don't have an understanding of how business works, how business operates, then we are heading in a sad state of affairs.
Yep.
Like I said today, I went to court. I sat there, well, not in court, I did it via Zoom. And today, for the first time, I am learned that one of the gentlemen who run this country, who run some of the largest corporations and state agencies in this country, does not have an MBA. Is not an accountant. I was so shocked. Josh, I'm not going to tell you is who. I'm going to begin this program by saying namaste again to all of you in here.
All right.
And you will have to listen. Who is this individual that responsible for the nation's big money for donkey years and does not have an MBA? I'll tell you later down in the program.
All right.
But don't forget, you have to live within your means for quite a while into the future. That's a phrase used by our vice president recently to finally tell this nation, don't expect any oil money anytime soon. Yes, that is what he means. Those words came from his mouth last week at the ExxonMobil sponsored conference they had in Texas. In the meanwhile, Josh, hear this piece of video quickly before you go to sleep. Friday, you fell off the chair. You were nodding and you slept. Could you play that video quickly?
No problem.
Forefront of global energy markets recently with its oil field discoveries. Analysts predict that within a span of just a few years, Guyana will become the world's largest producer of oil per capita. At the same time as this evening's talk really makes manifest, Guyana is committed to developing a sustainable future for all of us. We are excited to host you this evening at the Baker Institute, which is ranked as the #1 in the world for university-based think tanks, and at the Center for Energy Studies, also ranked #1 in the world for the study of energy policy and energy geopolitical issues.
Josh,
Yeah.
Guyana will be the largest producer of oil in the next few years. That is what this first speaker said.
Yeah.
And I think the host said it better. Guyana will become the largest producer of oil per capita. And at the same time, the man said, Guyana is committed to building a sustainable future for all of us.
Us, who's the us?
That's the point.
Who's the us?
Who is the us? That is them. Is them he talking about, Mr. Bernard?
Baker Hughes is talking about.
Yes. Mhm. That is who he's talking about, them. Mhm. Per capita. Bernard, per capita, meaning per person. And we leaders telling us, we're not going to see our money in a few years, but quite a while into the future. So in the meantime,
Yeah, live within our means.
yes, you're going to live within your means. You heard the words yourself, Josh.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Foreigners can come from outside and or sitting outside and talk how great Guyana is.
The cash cow.
And what is here for them. You hear that? They can sit outside and talk how great Guyana is and what is here for them to sustain their future, not ours. They coming here, Bernard, and suss out their future, but not ours. No, not me and you and Josh. Foreigners come here in all description, suss out every corner, every inch of our country to know where and where your wealth is. Yes, the rich lands, now the waterways, the oil I'm talking about. Tonight I'll not be speaking much about oil. I just happen to give you a reference there. Then get hectares, and in some cases thousands of acres of land, oil blocks that the law does not accommodate. Huge, they get them with huge, beautiful tax waivers, concessions and duty free. And let me repeat this again. Some of the things you're going to hear me, Josh, I am repeating because I've said them recently.
Correct.
Yeah. In the case of our mining lands, they pay 1,000 Guyana dollar. You didn't hear me, man. 1,000 Guyana dollar a whole year per acre.
It's 5 years down.
Me and you own this land, Josh. Every square inch of it, Miss Harris, can't get a square feet. Not an acre. Not a claim which is 1,200 acres to eke out a living. You can't get that. But a foreign man can come here and get in thousands of acres overnight by a twinkle of his finger. They came here, set up shop, shipping out our gold by the tons, and we, the citizens of this country, don't know who they are, where they came from, what they were supposed to do, and it seems no one cares, Miss Harris.
No. Nobody say that.
Josh,
No one say anything.
it gotta be the leaders and the people in the state agencies, those regulatory bodies who are responsible for monitoring every moment of these people. They are either dumb, they are deaf, blind, or downright corrupt to the atrocities taking place in this land. A security guard dropped dead, chasing his own brothers off a foreign gold claim in Guyana. You read that story, Josh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. This was the headline in our newspaper, the Kaieteur News yesterday. A Guyanese security guard working with a foreign company, an Australian company called Troy Resources in the Cayuni, drops dead while chasing off a couple local pork knockers who were hustling to put bread and maybe little biscuits on the children's table. Bernard, when I read that story, the first thing came to my mind was, wow, the foreigners can come here and get our rich, rich, rich mining lands in huge quantities from our leaders. Yep. They pay next to nothing in royalties. If they choose to, they pay a pittance of $1,000 again per year, per acre for concessions which contains billions of US dollars in wealth, from our wealth. Yep. Yet me and you can't even get an acre to put little food for the children's table. I am not talking about a claim, Bernard. A claim has 1,200 acres. I am talking about just 1 acre, buddy. Me and you, who own this land, finding it difficult to obtain an acre, while foreigners are gifted, literally, with thousands of acres. You gotta call it a gift when you see the terms and conditions that these people get with these contracts.
Yes.
The sweetheart deals I'm talking about.
Duty free.
The foreigners are creaming off the country's wealth, while you and me can get a little piece to survive when the day comes, to feed our children when the day comes. It is sad. It is downright disrespectful what is happening with our own wealth in this land called Guyana. Sometimes I feel ashamed to call myself a Guyanese. The rich foreign companies are gobbling up the land, and when they finish draining one portion after another portion, they complain to the press how they're not making profits and can't pay taxes in this land. You hear that? So all we end up with is little or no royalties, while we forego billions of dollars in tax concessions. Yes, those tax waivers to make these foreign companies and their shareholders filthy rich. It breaks my heart to know that we are so blessed with this wealth we have. Yet, our local brothers and sisters have to scramble. We have to lurk in the nights. We have to resort to stealing what is really our own to eat.
Exactly.
Man, this thing gets more sad when we have to put up with the death of a brother who was instructed by these foreigners to chase his own Guyanese brothers off the land, resulting in his own death. Isn't that shameful?
Definitely.
Definitely. Do you really believe this thing is fair, man, Josh? Huh? For a foreign company to come here, gets a huge parcel of our rich lands overnight, to use our own people to chase out our own brothers trying to catch a hand. Is this fair?
No.
To get a little fine thing for feed the family. And while the chase was going on, Bernard, one of my brother dropped dead. It is so sad.
Yeah.
So sad. What is taking place in this country with the leaders we have. These foreigners come here, gets what they want, pays what they feel like paying, do whatever they feel like doing to our brothers and sisters, and everything goes back to normal.
Yep.
Like nothing ever happened. You guys remember what the Russians them did to our brothers in the back dam in the bauxite camp? Yeah. They end up before the courts. Yes. These are the same foreigners was Sam Hines. The ex-president is happy to have here and defending them. I had spoken about that on a program a few weeks ago, and I challenged him to come or call to defend it, but he never even sent a text. Yes, Josh. We are like animals in a cage, limited to where we can go and what we can do and what we can get in our own country with our own wealth. That's what Guyana has turned to. Josh, you ain't got nothing to get. Not the small man or the small woman, but the big people, Josh. The foreigners, Josh. The big shots, Josh. In the PPPC and the PNCC and the KFCC. People getting more than what they want. More than they can eat. More than what they can even stash away, man, for their children and grandchildren. That's what them getting. And what you getting, Josh? You getting to see? Oh, you only seeing what is happening.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, you know what the C stands for? In the PPPC, the PNCC, and the AFC? See? Yes. It's for corrupt, crooked, and cunning. And now that same C, Joshua, reducing you, the poor and the hungry Guyanese people, to another C. It's called criminals. Yeah, man. Treat them like that. Chase them and hunt them like that. And use our own people for do that. Make he drop down dead. How can you steal, Josh, what belongs to you? Can a man steal from himself? What is his own thing? Can you tell me, Miss Harris?
No.
Huh?
It's ridiculous.
Can he steal from his own self, man? Now, look at this. Look at this man that dead. A family is left with young ones behind now to fend for themselves, creating more poverty in this land. Think about this injustice that Jagdev, Granger, Ramatar, Robert Prasad, and Raphael Trotman pile on the head of every Guyanese and generations to come. Who do you think I'd take care of them children? Me and you tax dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's so sad. Sad what is taking place in this country with these leaders we have. This guard that dropped dead was only 36-year-old. Trust me on it. He has left his young kids. What becomes of them now? Can Mr. Ali, our president, and Mr. Harman, the opposition leader, tell us? Josh? Joshua, I want you to listen carefully to how much more disrespectful these foreign companies get. Them get them public relation officer, a man named Ajay Baksh, another Guyanese, to tell Guyana the 36-year-old security guard collapsed while on patrol duties. Oh boy. You see the spin? They want to tell us the man just fall down on the job. He was on patrol duties, and as we would say in local terms, he take in and collapse. That is what the company told Guyana through Ajay Baksh, them PR person. As it regards to whether or not the man was at the time chasing the local pork knockers from the company's land, here what Baksh said. Such information had not reached him. But what he's sure of, at the time he spoke to the press, was that the man was on patrol duties with other security guards. You hear that? He went even further to say, pork knockers does illegally invade people's private mining lands to catch a hustle, to make a living on a daily basis, and would be allowed to give the owners a little percentage. But when it comes to hustling on concessions operated by large-scale mining companies, foreign mining companies, like the one he working for, is taking a big risk because it is considered to be illegal and the lands are heavily guarded. You hear that? The big mining lands, what the foreign companies own, nobody can go there. It's a big risk you're taking. Even if you're at 10 feet outside them one, it's a big risk. Hear what the man say. If you're caught, you could be detained and charged. Yes. You can go before the court. That is what the man telling you. That is what the Troy Resources leaked to their PR man to tell Guyana. It's okay. It's okay to make a hustle on other people's mining land, but not theirs. Them have security that will detain and get you charged for trespassing on their lands. What a Guyana this is. What a beautiful place this is. I love this Guyana. But I'm ashamed to say I am a Guyanese. I think I am going to be a foreigner. Yeah, man. You will be charged. You hear that, Josh? It is sad. Really, really sad what is happening with our own wealth in this country called Guyana. It breaks my heart to know that we are so blessed with this, man, humongous wealth. Yet we have to scramble and live within our means, carrying home little bread and biscuit for we children. Joshua, I ain't even talk about milk for the tea yet, because many of our children going to bed drinking black tea without a of milk inside. We have to lurk in the nights. We have to resort to stealing what is really ours to eat. Man, it gets more sad when we have to put up with the death of a brother who was instructed by this foreign company to chase his own Guyanese brothers off the land, resulting in his own death. How can we steal what belongs to us, man? I'm asking a question again. How can we do that? Huh? Man, let me ask you, how? I can't fathom that. I can't begin to understand that. Steal from himself? What is his own thing? Josh?
The leaders give it away, so they're feeling not yours anymore.
And what you're hearing from your leader, Josh? Live within
Your means.
Yes, this rich country. And we leaders telling the citizens that you have to live within your means. Quite a while the foreigners just fetching away everything. This is the same company, Josh, that has been here in Guyana since 2013. Get a set of lands but still always complaining how things hard and they're not making money. Yet, them done mine out that area. They've been working and looking for more lands. I did tell you all this before. Here the amount of gold these people does fetch out every year. Josh, 2016, and this is only what they're declaring. In 2016, 69,000. The next year they ship out 66,000. In 2018, 90,000. In 2019, 45,000. In 2020, them say 26,000. In those couple of years alone, Joshua, is over 256,000 ounces of gold that them declare. I am not saying anything else, you know. In the gold business, trust me, nobody declared their rightful earnings. You hear what I'm telling you?
100%.
And I would challenge anybody in this country for tell me that I am wrong. Josh, that is $384 million US dollars at $1,500 ounce. Not Guyana dollars, you know. That 384 million is US dollar that come out of our land. You hear me correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is 384 million US. And what Guyana benefited out of that? The couple cent royalty. I am not certain whether they pay 5%, 7%, or 8%. But I know diamonds, they haven't declared anything. And guess what? We get that little royalty and little salary. They pay the security guard them, the watchman them, to look out for their interests. You hear me? Running and chasing after we brothers and sisters. Oh my gosh. 384 million Guyana, US dollar gone out this country from one single company was still said they may making money and still looking for more land. I give you the figures for what they ship out since 2016. That is on Guyana books. What them say, them dig out. That come from the website, Geology and Mines website. 7 years that they since 2013 in Weback Dam. Only declare from 2016 to 2020 telling us gold done and one more land. You hear that, Josh? That is in the Kaieteur. Them still working in the Kaieteur, but they were given another huge piece of land. This time in the Pataro. Every Guyanese know tons and tons of gold there. You know that, Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Pataro has more gold than Zambia or Ghana. Earlier in this year, hear what I tell them shareholders. They're getting an average of 2,200 ounces of gold every month from their operations this year, and still claim how the gold running down. It means that is not enough for them, Josh. You hear me? But they want chase. They want chase down we brother who hustling a little bread, a few penny weights for feed the family. This man I fetch run, then I go for tons, you know. Then I go for a couple penny weight to make a living. Hear this one, Bernard. These people so bare face that them done boasting how them get another lucrative concessions 20 kilometers away from the one they're working on now in Pataro. The bleeding of Guyana's wealth continues, and it looks like it will never stop, Miss Harris.
What you getting from it?
As long
We giving away billions and collecting in the thousands. And what are your leaders telling y'all?
Live within your means.
They are also telling us this is development. Yeah, man, and you got to live within your means. Yes, this company, Troy Resources, them get more land than Aurora Gold Mines. The Chinese company that I talked about some time ago, them get 1,100 square kilometer. That is 688 square mile. Let me repeat, I tell you this thing already. It's 38 the times of Wakenham Island, where I born and grew. 49 times the size of Legwan. 76 times the size of Georgetown. 137 times the size of New Amsterdam. And about 3 times the size of the entire Essequibo coast, just in case you don't know. Just in case you forget or you didn't listen to that program. Or you can just picture Georgetown to Parika is about 20 miles. From Georgetown to Timeri is about 26 miles. That is 520 square miles. Picture that in your head. That is the kind of land these people controlling. And any one of y'all go there with your little battle, you would be arrested and placed before the courts. If you don't drop dead running from them security guards. Oh man, Guyana. Oh, Guyana. I love you, but I'm just so ashamed to be a Guyanese. Josh, Mr. Ali, and Mr. Harmon, what a Guyana you guys running? Let me repeat, Josh, what I told you guys on a program some time back. In 2019 and 2020, these people pay less than $1 million US. That is what is reflected as their lease payment in their annual report. But that is for 3 countries, Josh. Brazil, Guyana, and Argentina. So we don't know what we get out of that. The leaders know, but I ain't saying nothing. Maybe some of the leaders collecting we share under the table. That's why these figures are not in the open. Josh, you have to listen to this next piece. What I'm saying. This is a story we carried in the Kaieteur News the other day. Just the other day. Troy Resources said they have to stop the operation for a while because the gold running out from that area. And how they want more gold lands to do underground mining. You hear me, Josh? Each and every one of us, you hear me, Josh, will be undermined by the same operation they bring into Guyana. You hear me? They're going to undermine your pocket, they're going to undermine your bank book, and they're going to undermine your children's belly. Because this type of business, all they need is only the security guard for secure the tons of gold that will be coming out from deep underground. Them come here in 2013, Josh, under the pretense of doing this large-scale underground mining. Something they said this region has never seen before. Our leaders say, how rich Guyana going to get? We can get rich overnight. You hear me? And give them concessions galore. Instead, the people turn back and use all the concessions, doing the same thing what Guyanese people does do. But with an advantage, Josh. We government give them duty-free this and duty-free that. Now they make money, empty out a huge section A big mountain. Now they're looking for more mountain. You hear me? For we gold. And hear what I said, Josh. This type of gold mining doesn't need Guyanese workers. It's too technical. Them got to bring special people for this type of fancy mining. That this region never see before. The fancy mining they plan to do, this underground thing, this region never see it before, Josh. You know what I mean? There will be no jobs for any one of you.
Yep.
None of our brothers and sisters.
Like the Marriott Hotel and the building in Chinese.
Exactly. Buddy, Josh, we need divine intervention in this place.
Yep, we do.
Yeah. From the beginning in 2013, they said they come here to do underground mining. The gold done and the underground mining ain't start yet. You think they really come here to do underground mining? No, man, they come here to catch the hand. You understand? And now they catch the hand. Now they're going to use the money to do the underground mining. For not only catch them hand, they're going to catch them country's hand too, with we gold. 9 years after, them still looking for money. They say, what they come here to do in the first place? They want more land to continue raping Guyana and your unborn children too. You hear me, Josh?
Yes.
The same company, Joshua, recently tell them shareholders during a monthly updates how they don't have to worry. Money will come. Money will continue to flow in their pockets from the land of many waters called Guyana. Yes, it's we gold, we diamonds will be flowing into their foreign bank accounts when they get more of our lands. From who?
Leaders.
From our leaders, yes. We have a new leader now, Vikram Bharat. Was Robert Prasad, then Raphael Trotman, now we got Vikram Bharat, who used to be a headmaster.
Yeah.
People, it documented in their monthly report. You can go online and see it for yourselves. Go to troyresources.com. Yeah, man, it's right there. Ms. Harris, what is more upsetting, or what is upsetting me, is not that these people shipping out we wealth and we're not getting nothing. But it's like we actually paying these people.
That's what you do.
We're paying these people to rob us.
That's what you do.
We children are already hungry. And we're paying these people to fetch away the children's wealth.
Yes, that belongs to them.
GRA website said Troy Resources was given from 2016 to now billions in tax breaks.
Wow.
And duty free this and duty free that. Guys, what went on in Africa for years is happening here right now. Right now. So you guys got to make up your mind to live within your means for quite a long while into the future.
It's forever.
Yes, it's forever.
That's exactly what it means.
You remember some time ago, excuse me, I spoke a lot about the Aurora gold mines and them contract. The Chinese take over that contract, that company. They call it Xinjiang. That same company. They're all over Africa. I played a video. I don't recall if it was Friday or Wednesday, in which the children, they were using 4 years, 7 years, up to 11 years old to mine copper and the people's ore. That same company is in Guyana. The exact company is in Guyana, y'all hear me? It's all over Africa again. Nothing has changed. That's how they behave all over the world. Man, 2019 and 2020, guess how much gold they declare? 214,000 ounces them said they dig out. That is 321 million American dollars. With Troy Resources, 384, that is 705 million American dollars in gold alone dig out from this country by them two companies alone. And Guyana still begging for 200 million loan to build a harbor bridge. You hear me, son? Yeah, man. In 2020, Troy Resources, the same company, where the brother for long and dead, declared 73,000 ounces. 8% of that, Bernard, is 8,700,000 US. And they're still paying the $1,000 Guyana acre per year for we go land. While we, brother, got for lurk in the night for 10 feet land for make a living. Josh,
Yes.
one of their own people tell me from their company, them receive over 20 million liters of fuel in 2020 alone. When you do the maths, Josh, 25% duties and taxes on that is 6 million American dollars Guyana lose. And that is on fuel alone. And what Guyana get? What I give we? 7.7 million in royalties if they pay the 8%. That is how much this country get. This is how to run a business. And they tell you to do what? Live within your means. You barely get $1 million and something, Josh.
Yep.
From this huge, humongous foreign company. What do you think they did in Zambia? What do you think they did in Africa?
Same thing.
Same thing that they're doing here. And I ain't talking about the trucks and the excavators, the machineries and the equipment. That ain't include. That is in the billions. But I just left them thing out. Me not tell you nothing. If you add them, we not only paying them to thief. We can't find words to describe what we are doing.
There's a business. There's a financial goals.
This is what we President Irfan and your leaders called investment and development.
Jobs for the people.
This is how we can turn Dubai overnight. Y'all will turn Dubai before the day is out. You see why all these contracts are locked away in steel doors? Like we can't see them? We have never seen any contract that the PPP signed in 20-something years they've been in office. Every contract them sign, they put in confidentiality clause. Winston Brasington, the man who used to head NISIL at the time, signed many of them. He is a king for confidentiality clause with the people of this country's business. And he got the nerve to sue me 19 times. God bless you, boy. I mean it. I don't know if it's coming from my heart, but I mean it. Joshua, I tell you today, I spent 3/4 of the day in court on one of that 19 lawsuit he brought against Kaieteur News, myself, and Adam Harris. I tell you, I'll win a couple already, and the rest is still to be tried. As a matter of fact, one began today. You hear me? And for the first time, you hear me, Josh?
Yeah.
You guys gotta listen to this one, man. For the first time, Glenlal has learned that Winston Brasington, the man who been running almost all the government corporations and state agencies in this country, including NISIL, were in charge of selling and buying anything in this country, does not even have an MBA.
Wow.
When questioned today, he told the court he has an EMBA. Guys, for those of you who don't know or never heard about this, EMBA is an online degree what anybody can pick up. Once you can read and write a little bit, you can pick it up. This one is an executive master in business administration. It sounds fancy with a word executive in front, but it's not a real MBA that you get from real universities. My daughter is a qualified MBA. She obtained it from St. John's University in New York City. It's not that I'm boasting, Josh, but she went 4 years to acquire hers. What Brasington do? Couple hours online, and he said he told the court he had some face-to-face sessions, and that's how he got the EMBA. What a Guyana this is. Today, for the first time, I also learned that he's not even a qualified accountant. Are you hearing me, man? Winston Brasington is not even a qualified accountant. Man, what you think I'm telling you all, man? I learned that today in court. And this man was heading NISIL and also running almost all of the state companies in this country.
Wow. GPL.
Running GPL, running Gaia, the Marriott, the Borby's Bridge, and so many more. Man, anything involving big money in this country, he is inside as a director or in charge. That is what I learned today through this court case.
Not even an accountant.
Yes, and not even an accountant. It's only today we learned that, boy.
Wow.
That we have a man without an accounting certificate who is actually running Guyana's purse strings all over in every large project Guyana
Says a lot.
put on. No wonder none of them can honestly pinpoint a project the PPP did and the coalition did for the last 30 years in this country that is successful. No wonder that.
They're picking any fool off the street and whatever do it.
Just hear this piece, man. Here, what is the latest project he's heading right now? The Gas to Shore project and the Amelia Hydro project. He was a key man behind the Hydro Falls when they first announced it back in 2007, 2008. You hear me? These two projects alone will run more than 3 billion American dollars. Remember, all our debt is how much? 2.2. And here going to run a 3.3 billion US dollar project. Yeah, man. This is the financial guru without an accounting certificate or an MBA behind his name running billion-dollar projects in this country. When the coalition come in government, Bernard, he pack up his bag and run away. As soon as the PPP come in, man, the man is back in the seat, back in power, ready for make deals. Wow. And he's sitting down quietly in the background, you know. If you know the man don't talk too much, you know. Quietly sit down there. I think he's getting a fat salary too from the gas to shore project. You see? They just can't make money when they go elsewhere, you know. They have no qualification to make anything.
Exactly.
Yes. But this is Guyana. You see, I said, I love this country, but I'm ashamed to call myself a Guyanese. You know, the country never hear he hold a press conference to talk about the gas, the shore project, or the Amelia Falls project that he's heading. Go Guyana, go man, go. Continue living within your means. Your future and your future generations is set with these people for quite a while into the future. Just remember them words.
Quite a while.
Just this past week, Josh, if the president of Suriname didn't come here, Mr. Santoki, Guyana would have never knew that the gas to shore project, headed by the same Winston Brassington, can only survive or make money, meaning a success, becoming successful, if 4 countries lend its support. You hear me? If them support it by agree to buy gas or the electricity they plan to generate. If not, it's a dead donkey. What these donkeys couldn't see all the time, we would have to bury. We also learned that there is no signed agreement, Josh, or a signed document with any one of these 4 countries, whether they will come on board or not. But Winston Brassington running ahead, endangering all of us and our future generations. A man without an MBA behind his name, or an accountant, or an accounting certificate. Yeah, man. This is why they're running ahead with other projects, and we still can't get a document signed from ExxonMobil, parent company, to safeguard Guyana and the region. Josh, you tell me, you going ahead to spend money, sign up deals with people for start a business, and without your neighbors supporting you, man? Supporting you in writing? Josh, you going and indebting yourself on such a project? Man, Josh, would you do that, buddy?
No, I wouldn't.
Right. Well, that is where Guyana is heading with this project. And it come out the mouth of the president himself. Not willingly, because a reporter had to ask him about it. And Brassington and Jagdeo still not saying a word. You guys smelling anything here, man?
Love.
Fishy.
Wait, Josh, these people clean the studio today?
Yes, it is.
Because I'm smelling something here, man. Or is the gas, the shore smelling?
It's probably
Yeah,
the
it's
gas.
gas.
Huh?
That's
The
the
gas is smelling.
It's already poisoning us.
You smelling anything?
Mm-hmm.
With what the VP say?
A lot of hot tea or gas.
Yeah, man. 2 weeks ago, he said he ready and willing to sit down with editors and news people to give them a special briefing The country is still waiting, brother. Brother Jagdev, the country is still waiting for a briefing. Not a single project these governments we have had and still have embarked on. Not a single project both governments embarked on has been a success. They are now embarking on the gas to shore, the largest in the history of the Caribbean. And they have not held a single press conference to tell this nation or the Caribbean what is going on. Instead, they want to hold private briefings and telling the reporters not to record it. Bernard, ask yourself this. Why? Why? What they have to hide? Or what are they hiding? What dirty business they want to do behind we back? This is the people of this country livelihoods you are dealing with, brothers. Is our livelihoods. People are already suffering in this land. Can't eat. And are you going secretly to endanger them more, man? You just heard what the Zambian man said about selling out the copper mines for 25 million US dollar. And in 3 months, the foreign company makes 75 million and pay them back 25 million. The 25 million what they buy it for. But not here. We giving away we won. Not even for 25 million Guyana dollar. We actually giving away, we giving them 1,000 Guyana dollar per acre per year. Joshua, only today we carried a story in the Kaieteur News in which a senior policy advisor who specializes in gas business telling Guyana that gas is not a bridge to cleaner energy. You hear me? Meaning renewable energy, like solar or wind power. It's not a bridge. The man says a wall. And it's a concrete wall. Jagdev said that is a bridge. We use it as a bridge to get to renewables. The people said no, it's not a bridge. It's a wall, and a concrete wall that will lock you in a room where you can't come out, and bills will be piling up on you as the days go by. The man said, you can't move away easily from that project to follow the world which we are heading into, meaning the cleaner energy. The man said we can't get out. Cleaner electricity, better electricity, and cheaper electricity. The man said because once you are locked in with that kind of investment, you will have to stay there and deal with it. Joshua, how are you going to deal with it? You got 2.2 billion and you're going to end up in another 3. You can't deal with the 2.2 with all this riches you have. The man warning Guyana. Everybody warning Guyana. Let me share a quick example, Josh. The same thing what I'm talking about, so you can understand it very in layman terms. You went to the bank and take a $20 million loan on your house. Buy a big generator for power your house and 4 neighbors. You hear me? And your 4 neighbors, but your neighbors didn't sign on to say, hey Josh, I'm going to take power from you. And 2 years, your neighbor gone and spent 2,000 Guyana dollar, buy a couple solar panels from the Chinese store and power the whole house. What will happen to you? You're going to left with the generator and the bank loan, plus the interest. How are you going to deal with that? How are you going to deal with that, Josh? You're going to lose the house, the generator, And you will be living on the streets, not within your means, because there will be no means to live by. That is the road this country is going down, with people like Winston Brasington and the Vice President Jack Deodem. Every citizen of this country will have to live within their means for quite a while. But for the rest of the while, you guys gonna live. I don't know what you'll live with. Josh, you got to find a way what to tell them. I'm getting thirsty. I want some water. Let me tell you guys good night. Thank you so much for listening. Sweet dreams, and God bless you all tonight. Josh, give me a few, 2-3 telephone calls and let me get going, please.
No problem. You had a hard day, and thank you for explaining where you were.
Please give me the water. Thank
So
you.
caller, you can call us. You can call us this evening on 226-7453 and 226-7454. Let's remember to make it short. And of course, when you call in this evening, to please lower the volume of whichever device you may be listening to us from tonight. Failure to do such, we'll have no choice but to disconnect your call this evening. Caller, good evening and welcome to the Glenn Loud Show.
They can WhatsApp their messages to you.
Yes, they can as well on 622-2222.
If you don't get through, because everybody keeps saying that they're calling and they're not getting through. You guys can WhatsApp on 622-2222.
Good night, sir. Go ahead with your contribution this evening.
Good night to everybody. Mr. Lal, I really enjoy your program every week.
Thank you.
I used to work in the Bob Douglas rig. I was a chef. I worked with them for 8 months. I was fired. The reason why I was fired because I did not have on my gloves when I was cutting up the greens.
You did not?
I did not have on my gloves
Yeah.
when I was cutting up the greens. However, we've been getting, I was a staff. The staff that are getting Rob out there. We getting his treat. They was getting his. For an example, they have more than one. They have more than one internet, and the locals get the internet very slow, and the foreigners they get the best internet. That's the only way you can make contact with your loved one at home because you do not get signal out there. You have to depend on the Wi-Fi. However, I heard you mention sometime a couple of days ago that they're bringing the food, the water, and so on from overseas. That is 100% true. The only thing they use for Guyana is the bounty chicken. Even the pillow we use is from foreign. It's in container. Even the sheet on the bed, everything is foreign. They don't be treated so nice. When you work 20 days on the rig as a local, when you come back home in 28 days, you have to rest for 28 days. You don't get paid. The foreigners get paid. When they go back home, they still get paid. There's so much. When I was there, I asked to meet with Mr. Trotman, me and 4 other staff, and we never get to meet with him. With numbers, Mr. Trotman, under the coalition government. And we never get a chance to meet with him. We leave numbers. We went and visited him at his office, and he never meet with us.
You think they care about you?
No, nobody care. Nobody care. But let me tell you, I have a solution for this. I believe what we should do as local, we get all the vehicles out. We want 100 and something vehicles, and we block off the road like what Linden is doing.
Gotta shut down the country.
We can do that. But the people in Guyana, the people in Georgia doesn't have that guts to do that. Lindeners have that guts to do it. Georgia doesn't have that unity, and that's what we need. That's what we lock in.
I am ready to lead.
Yeah, this is bad for us. This is so bad for us. Those guys' salary, Mr. Lally don't want to hear the salary those white people get, those Filipinos get. Because I met guys from the Philippines, I met guys from Trinidad, I met guys from the U.S., I met guys from New Zealand. All these people is here working on different rigs, and these people's salaries are huge.
Humongous.
But Nobody want to listen to the locals. We just have to accept what they give us.
No, we don't have to.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Don't
So
speak
what-
like that.
No, we
What
don't.
can we do? Listen, we could do nothing next year. Nobody in will do nothing
No,
because they have the power. They have power more than me and you.
I am not buying that. I will never buy that.
There's 7,400,000 citizens of this country.
Well, I hope something happened early because this has been going on for years.
I will never, ever, ever, not under my living body, will
Well,
accept that.
we need to have a big road block. All the vehicles block up the road. Block up overlay strip. Nobody can pass. Nobody can go. Block up the East Bank. Nobody can pass. Nobody can go. We want the president to come and meet. We want the president to come and meet with us. We want the president to come and talk to us. We need to know what's going on. We need a better contract. We need it to change. If it won't change, we will be doing this until it changes. That's
We
what
don't,
need.
brother, we don't only need a better contract. We need things to
It's a
change.
fair contract.
Everything needs to change in this land.
Correct. Yes, we need that.
The way they have been going about business, our
Correct.
business, the people's business, my business,
Correct.
your business has
Correct.
to change.
Correct.
You
But
can't put a
we
man.
gotta-
You can't put a man to run the biggest ever project in the history of this region. What doesn't have an MBA or an accounting certificate? Come on.
Man, there's no news,
Come on.
man. There's no news. There's no news. I've seen it happen before. There's no news. But let me tell you something. The only way it can change is if we take action.
Yes.
And the action we got to take is block up the streets with our vehicles.
I agree
Thousands
with
of
you.
Vehicles we want.
I
Thousands of
agree with
vehicles
you.
we want. Block up the whole road. And nobody can pass. We lock up a vehicle. We stand up right there. We lock it up. Nobody can pass. Nobody can go. We want the president come and talk to us. If they want to come and shoot us, let them come and
Shoot me,
us.
man. Shoot me,
Right,
man.
let them come. But you know what? We can do it. We can. That's the only alternative I see could happen. That we could meet somewhere in this life.
My
Because-
friend. My
because the
friend.
whole world is saying Guyana's little Dubai, but here with the president, Barrett is saying we ain't seen ourselves rich as yet.
Yes, because we
You want me to play the tape for you here? You have the
I
tape
got-
plate for play them, let her hear it back again. Once in a while. We ain't got money for get in a while.
Crazy this. You
This
know,
is not crazy. This is not crazy. This is not insanity.
corruption.
This is corruption, my friend.
Yeah, how can he do this?
This is corruption for their family and their friends.
Mr. Lau, I think we need to do something, and I tell you, we need to do a roadblock. Block up the street of our vehicles. Thousands of vehicles we need. And we want people to come out and support us. We're blocking up the overlay strip, and we're blocking up from Diamond right through, we're blocking up. We're blocking up. Nobody can pass, nobody can go to the airport.
My friend,
One-
my friend,
Mhm.
it is coming. It is coming. You're going to join us. It's
I will.
coming.
I will.
The show.
And I will make sure that people to join us. And just because the Londoners block off the bridge for days, and the people don't feed them on the street, we want people to come and feed us.
Sir,
because we
it is
moving.
coming. It is coming. Don't worry. It is coming.
All right, Mr. Lau, you continue. Good job you're doing.
You have to spread the message.
Yeah.
You have
yeah.
my number?
This is what we want. No, I don't have your number, but I know to make contact with you.
Good. Call me.
Get your family,
Perfect.
get your friends, get your neighbors, everybody.
You got to get your neighbors. You got to get your friends. You got to get your families. You got to get everybody. We have to change the way this country has been running. We cannot afford to accept this type of leadership. They have to change. If not, we have to shut this place down. They have to come out and tell us that things will change. Don't tell me about ExxonMobil and changing contract. ExxonMobil have to change their contract. Have to. This is not a contract. It is not a contract.
Con.
This is not even a con. This is criminal.
It's a rape. It's a rape. It's a rape.
You entitled to no more than 10, 60 aisle blocks. And you telling me
600.
you get 600? Our constitution doesn't say that. Our constitution doesn't, the law doesn't say that.
Taxes. They pay 0 taxes.
You telling me you're not paying any taxes?
every company in Ghana has to pay 25% tax. Every single company, Guyanese company, has to pay 25%.
You're live on here, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. Thanks for the photograph. I saw you. I saw it. I saw you're way in Berlin.
I'm still in Berlin. It's actually about 2:30 in the morning here. I was listening to your program there, man.
It's sad what's happening here, man.
Man, when I listen to you, I can't sleep.
You can't sleep. Man, you think,
Can't sleep.
sir, the ordinary man that pick any bowl and he bhaji, he coconut, he planting a little rice and cane. People, the ordinary poknaka come out and pay the little taxes and the royalties on their own wealth, what them grow. And you have foreign people coming here, taking our oil and not paying a single cent taxes, man. Stealing our gold, our diamond, our bauxite, and not paying any taxes, brother. Come on, man. This country got to shut down.
Glenn, it's 2:30 in the morning, and I was waiting up to listen to this show.
Thank you.
But when I listen to this show, brother, and the contents of the show, it's heartbreaking as a Guyanese to listen to what's going on in that country.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart. I am not supposed to even be up listening to this show.
Thank
You know
you.
what I'm saying? But I'm concerned as a Guyanese. But I'm going to be brief with you. You know, the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 15 says, if you bite and devour each other, watch out, and you will be destroyed by each other. Brother, that's all I got to say.
Good morning,
Bless
sir.
my country. God bless you, sir.
God bless you too.
your staff. Continue what you're doing. I'm going to be in Berlin for a couple of days, and I'm going to be praying for my country.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
all
you.
I can say. The rest,
Thank you.
I can't say anything because I'm so upset.
And pray for these leaders too. Don't forget them.
No, well, the problem with the leaders is obvious that the incompetence is right out there. There's no other words to describe it. You said everything that we need to hear. Because you are the voice for the voiceless. You are the voice for the people. This has never happened in the history of Guyana, where you have a magnate, somebody that owns a television station or the newspaper environment, a tycoon. You are a news tycoon in Guyana who's coming out and delivering this message to the people. You don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
You don't have to do it. Where are these other voices? Where are the lawyers, the doctors, and all these people in Guyana?
And I have been speaking. I have been speaking quite a while now. That in 2014, I received 19 lawsuits from the same one that named Winston Brasington. Yeah.
I heard you describe that guy doesn't have an MBA.
Yes. Today I learned that, man. And I was so happy that I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't wait for the program to start to tell you people the role this man played in Guyana for a number of years on all the different projects. You remember we lose 40-something million US on a road to nowhere to the Hydro Falls back with a man named Phip Motilal?
Right.
He was the mastermind. He was the kingpin behind it.
Why don't the judge withdraw that judgment that he passed on you?
No. All right. No. Let me not get to that. I'm just telling you, I got 19 lawsuits from him. And they're being tried one, two. I've been trying to get them to see if we could consolidate them and make one trial. But it's still ongoing. So, but don't worry. Don't worry. I'll face it.
I just want you to know that my friends in Berlin are very happy with the program. It's just sad that they couldn't be up because of sleeping time here.
Yes, I saw. You know, your photograph is on the front page today of the Kaieteur News.
Some people called me already.
Okay. Yeah. And tomorrow I send your friend photograph. Still in Berlin, you're there standing up, speaking for Guyana.
My friend is Guyanese, but was born in London, and he lives in Berlin. He speaks fluent German, and he's coming to Guyana in about 3 weeks. He's going to be coming to see you that same time.
Yes,
Photograph.
he's welcome. He's welcome anytime. You guys welcome anytime.
Give my regards to all the wonderful people in Guyana. Stay
Thank you.
focused, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
God bless. God bless. Bye.
I have a question here from someone.
Yeah.
They want to know, why are we so against the gas to shore project, and what exactly is wrong with using the gas that we have?
What wrong?
Why are we so against the gas to shore project, and what exactly is wrong with using this gas that we have?
Why we're against it? Melina, it's a beautiful question. The world is moving away, my friend. The world is moving away from this gas projects all over the world. The entire Europe, America, Canada, all over is moving away from that type of electricity generation. They are moving towards cleaner and better electricity, which is far, far cheaper.
Cheaper, the most important is cheaper.
To supply electricity in this country here, within 18 months, let's say we need 200 megawatt, it's only $200 million US.
Exactly.
If we need 400, it's less than $400 million US. Why are we going to indebt ourselves with a nasty, uncertain project in the billions? Does this thing make sense? No. No. As a matter of fact, one company wrote the government and tell them, listen, we know you don't have money. We will give Guyana electricity within 18 months. Just sign a contract with us. That's all they need, and they will come and put down their own money. And what our government, what Jack Dave is saying, is that the gas to shore project will cut electricity by half. Meaning we are paying 30 US cents now. You can put it down 28 to 30%, you can put it to 14%. Well, let me tell you, the cheaper energy, the people can bring it down to less than 10%. And we don't have to spend any money. So why we are not going down that road? You figure that for your own self. Why wouldn't you want to go down with something you don't have to go take a loan. You don't have to go, you have no risk. And it's cheaper, it's cleaner, it's better. The world is heading there. And it can happen overnight. Not 2025, as Mr. Jagde wants us to believe. He's not telling you the truth. In 18 months, they can do it.
Yes.
But that's why we're against it. That person who asked the question wouldn't go buy a generator, take a loan to buy a generator, for generate power for his house, when he know in 2 years' time, or right now you can put a pole solar on your rooftop and generate power. I am doing that right here, at the same building here that I sit here for the last 3 years. Generating half the power that Kaieteur uses.
Not only that, Glenn, the environmental damage, the environmental destruction,
Exactly.
in case of explosion of the gas pipeline, it destroys the fishing livelihood. When they had a scoping meeting, Glenn, the fishermen came and they're terrible. The guys, you can hear the frustration in their voice. Their catch is depleting, so they cannot work. You can hear the frustration in their voice, right? So it's environmentally destabilizing, and its cost is.
It's not dangerous. Dangerous is not a word.
It's criminal.
And more than criminal. What they're doing.
The United Nations Secretary General said that no fossil fuel project should be approved anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And we can make the Paris Agreement not in 2025. We can make the Paris Agreement in 2023.
Yes. Exactly.
Right? With this one solar project, we will be meeting all our commitments in the Paris Agreement 2 years before the 2025.
The head of the European banks, the man said recently, I recall carrying that story. The man said he's going to ask the entire European banking system not to throw a single cent into these type of projects. Why? Because he knows it's a failure. You understand? It's a failure, and beside failure, it's dangerous for mankind. It's dangerous for the earth. And Mr. Jack Dare is the man of
Champion of the earth.
champion of the earth,
Champion of the oil company.
and he's
champion of
heading
ExxonMobil.
it to destroy it. He's heading the gas show project to destroy the world more.
Glenn, but there's another thing. Another company now came about with a battery and storage for solar, and they could store 430 megawatts for $300 million, which means when the sun is out in the day, the storage is there for the night, and they could store up to 430 megawatts for $300 million. So let's just say you do a 300 megawatt solar farm, and the 300 million storage is going to be the most is $600 million US, and you have unlimited, uninterrupted power day and night, right?
Brother, the entire
I don't require no gas. You don't have to pay for any gas.
the entire Europe, America, Canada, these developed world, they are going after that same system. And they have to deal with 6 months winter where there's no sunlight.
Exactly.
Guyana, there's sunlight every moment. And these morons telling us that, they don't have words to bring out.
It makes
to
no
convince
sense.
this is why they can't hold a press conference.
Of course.
You know? This is why they're ducking and hiding.
Yes.
They're on the wrong side of history.
Yes.
Yes.
Completely wrong side.
They're on the wrong side of
They are
history.
endangering the world and all of us.
And we are not going to take it. We are not going to allow them to get away with it.
This is why I'm telling you, these people have to get a complete makeover with their brain.
Brains, exactly.
Yes. I'm still looking for Dr. Duki.
They're going against the tide of history, and can't they? Don't their friends could tell them that what you're doing is wrong?
They're hell bent in doing what they want. There's a set of skullduggery they have been doing over the years, from one government to the other government.
This is 2021. We're not going to allow
Yes.
them with the internet. They haven't heard about the
Everything.
revolution.
It's a shame.
Guys, it's not Nancy's story. It's not fiction. We're talking on this radio here.
Yep.
Google every single thing that we're saying
Google it
here.
themselves, yes.
It's in the open.
Precisely.
But these guys think we're living back in 20, 30 years.
We're living on the
where
rough.
we didn't have internet.
Yeah. That's the next thing as well, because we're such a wealthy nation. I really wonder what our reputation is like, especially in like the Caribbean. Like, what do people think of Guyana? There are countries, islands in the Caribbean that have far less, close to nothing compared to what we have in terms of resources.
Right, sir.
And look how well they're doing.
Right, sir. Sir, if that question didn't ask, if Ali would have never talked about it.
Precisely.
So now President only said, well, yeah, we can look at it.
Yeah,
And the French ambassador said how he can talk to French Guyana for see if they could take anything from me. Man, are you gonna be joking, ambassador?
It's ridiculous.
Are you gonna be joking in this day and age? Are you dealing with slaves and illiterate? You should tell your country is moving away from gas projects. Why don't you tell your country to get going with go back to gas ashore? But you don't come here and tell me, well, and sit down with critic too. You're not sitting with the press. You notice all of them? All the ambassadors and so on, they're not holding press conference, stuff like that, to talk, to answer questions.
And that should tell people
Yeah.
something. That in itself should tell
Yeah,
people
yes,
something. Why are these
but-
people not facing the actual
Exactly,
media that will
because
press
these
them?
things are coming out now.
Exactly.
You understand? They're running for cover. They're ducking and hiding. But let's see how long they will duck.
Exactly.
You understand? Like I said, this country have to shut down. You got to bring it to a complete halt
Yes.
to revamp it.
It's a rape. You
Yes.
can't allow it to turn anymore.
No, you can't allow rape, man.
Exactly.
We have been raped for too long.
Exactly.
We have been
Exactly.
raped. Josh,
Yes.
8:45,
Yes.
8:42. You can take one more call and guys.
Caller, good evening. Welcome to the Glenn Lal Show. Your final caller for this evening.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Lal and panel.
Good evening.
I've been hearing your show for quite some time now, and this is what I have to say. I'm clear on what's going on. I was born in the 60s and grew up in the days of the Borno Mirror. I am blaming everybody who in their 70s and 80s for not standing up for us to have made Guyana go through the perils it went through in the 80s at that time. I am sure the new generation that's coming up will now look at this generation and cause it to be the worst generation, the most disgraceful in this country, because we now are not standing up. And the same thing that happened during the Burnham era for Guyana to be what it was is going to happen, and we're going to be the disgrace.
All right, hold on the line. You made a valid point there, but I tend to want to disagree with you a little, because yesterday's technology, you can't compare it with today's. That's one. We have been all this what is happening now. In the days gone by, our resources basically had no value, right? The goal was $200, $300 an ounce. I came here and pack up because of that. All right? Now, our bauxite, we didn't know the value. Other minerals, we didn't know the value. Now, our oil is a new thing on us right now. We still don't know the value. So I wouldn't want to blame the Guyanese people. I just want to make sure the ones who understand new technologies, like me and you who understand how to maneuver the internet and peep and seek and understand. But there are half of Guyanese who don't even know how to handle a phone right on to this day. So let's don't blame people. Let's try to educate those people.
What I'm saying, Mr. Lal, as much as you might not have had internet and all that those days, I still believe the people of that time should have stood up to what was going on in the country and stopped Burnham from behaving the way he did. Well, but they did not stand up, and we're doing the same thing now. We're not standing up to Jagdeo for what they're doing, and we're going to be a failure again.
Well, it's not Jagdeo alone.
Well, the entire both regimes.
Is the coalition too? When last you hear a word from any one of them? That's my point. So this thing is not about Jagdeo alone.
No, I just mentioned him. I'm talking about this generation of administrations, both APNU and the PPP.
Yeah.
Since we, the people, are not standing up, we will become the worst generation more than what we were that caused Burnham to get away with what he did at that time. Because we are not standing up here again. We still letting the administration get away with murder. And while we punish, while we suffer, we're supposed to be getting benefits from all that we have been born to gain. We're not getting it because of a few people, and the multitude is not standing up. Same thing happened during the 70s and the 80s. Nobody stood up to the PNC at that time.
I hear you.
You understand? So me knowing that era has now condemned that time and persons for not standing up who in the 80s and the 90s now. When we become in our 80s and 90s, the young generation that's coming up is going to look at us as the bigger failure than Burnham in his time. We need to come out there and really do demonstrate to get back a proper contract and an agreement for us to benefit the way we should. Let's get out there and start the protesting.
I don't know if this is right or if I am wrong. You can probably help me with it. I believe back in those days, I am told, because I am of your generation. I didn't know about race issue, but back in those days, it was created where there's a word apanchat or something like that. Right. But for my era, I don't, and that this side, this Indians and African, the division was there. It originates from there, from yesterday. But today we got to stand, and the politicians have been harping on that. They have been using that for the last 2 generations to continue the voting pattern the same way.
Yeah.
Right? Dividing the people to get their votes. But I think we are living in a different era now, my friend.
We still gotta fight. The bottom line is,
and there
anything to be achieved while we are alive for our benefit and our children's benefit, we have to fight for it.
Exactly.
And fight means let's go out there and demonstrate. And the people that are there to represent us are not representing us properly. Let's move them away, get them out, get a proper contract, get better things for us to live now.
Yes,
or we are going to end up being the wars generation, more wars, if there is such a word, than Burnham time. And I'm pretty sure, Mr. Lal, you might remember the way Guyana was back in the day. No, because the people did not protest, they did not stand up to Burnham. That's why he got away with what he got away in Guyana was the way it was. Yeah. Now we're doing the same thing. We're not doing anything about the two regimes, PPP and PNC. We just sitting back and they're getting away with more while we suffer. What happening to my mangoes? Mm-hmm. I need my mangoes, man. And for me to get mangoes, I need to run a barbed wire around the mango tree so I alone could pick it.
Exactly.
That's my point. I need to fight to get my mango tree growing and blossoming and blooming and in fruition for me. How do I get it? Look around, go somewhere else, somebody else come and raid it. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen with my children when they don't get mango? They don't even get a seed. They don't get a skin. They can say, Daddy, you know what happened to you? Your was weak. Your back was weak. Why you let the thief man come and thief you mangoes?
Exactly. This is why we got to fight for them.
Right. So I'm saying if we need to start the I don't want to say rebellion and make it sound like a war or something, but we need to start letting our voices and our muscles be known that this is what we don't want. Or else we're going to go down as the wars generation. No. We ain't doing nothing. It's the same thing happened back in the other day with the PNC in the 80s. I'm not blasting a particular regime, but I'm saying to the people, we have the power. We are the power. The administration is just managers we put there to run what we want best for us.
Exactly.
You understand? So if they're not performing, get rid of them. We have to do that. And if we didn't do it in the 70s and the 80s, we're doing it now in the 2021s.
Exactly.
It's deja vu all over again. And we are going to be a failure.
My brother, we have to do it and do it together as one people called Guyanese people.
Yes. But it has to be done. This is my point. We need to start going out there and getting representation. And like the caller said earlier, block off places. You said blocking off places would not be enough. We need a general strike. Let's get that going.
Yes.
Because not one sector of this country is getting punishment. Everybody getting a deal.
You're not even hearing anything from the unions who are representing the people of this country. It is sad, eh?
Yeah, because the union themselves are afraid of being defunct.
It is sad, so sad. But I have made up my mind that I will not left this earth without a fight.
Yep.
Because like you said, I don't want my children and grandchildren to have to ask what my grandfather or what my daddy did to leave us in this dilemma.
That's what I'm saying. I blame my grandfather for not going out there by coffee and start dealing with Burnham personally and letting everybody follow him and strike out.
So unless
I'm the grandfather for my grandkids and I'm not going out there, what am I going to look like? This generation is going to be a failure for the development of this country, the betterment of our children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everybody's standing up for their rights all over this world, man.
Yep. Except we.
Huh? What happened to we, man? Cat bite we? Huh? Or good?
When all that's required for evil to triumph is a good people to sit silent and say nothing.
Exactly.
Right? That is
exactly. Exactly.
People to do nothing, say nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, we need to get some means of protest. You started it nicely with the photographs and posting it up. I sent mine, I did my part, and I will be willing to do more. We all need to start.
Exactly.
Don't care how small it is. Let's rise to the occasion.
A matter of fact, you talk about that. I'm getting, but I'm not. Sometimes I want to put 3-4 photographs of different Guyanese from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Holding up a little placard saying, change this contract.
Yeah.
And it started to simmer down. So I don't know if people forget or if they're walking on the placard or what, But we need to keep the fire burning.
Absolutely.
All right?
Yep.
If not, we will become another Africa.
Yep.
And what I'm seeing, it is worse than Africa. because we got a worse deal.
Yeah.
There is no contract on earth for the last 100 years. Let me repeat this. I have asked the Exxon country manager to just tell me one single contract for the last 100 years that resembles Guyana zone. And he looked at me and he smiled, and he didn't answer. I have challenged Bainu, who used to head the energy department. I said, man, just show me something. Tell me where I could go find one that resemble Guyana contract. And this is what you guys sitting down settling for? No, man.
Yes.
So I am beginning to see every day that goes by a worst Africa in Guyana.
Mr. Lal, I want to say this. Guyanese, I want to ask Guyana, you got $25,000 prior to this flood grant. You felt good. You got hundreds of thousands now coming. You felt good. Guyana, how would you feel if you know that was jokey money and now you're getting millions?
My gosh.
Consider that feeling. Guyana, you got $25,000 grant in the first instance. Now you're getting hundreds of thousands for the flash grant, for the flood flash grant. You feel good. How would you feel, Guyana, when you get in your proper entitlement of hundreds and thousands and millions more that you're not getting right now, you're not going to get?
Brother.
Guyana, you're not going to get it. We got to fight to get it, to feel better. If you're feeling good for this flash grant, this is a flash flood grant, and you feel good for the $25,000 per family back in the day when it was given out, how are you going to feel, Guyana, knowing that hundreds of thousands more in your pocket? And you could now put biscuit, and more than biscuit, bread and cake in your children's lunchbox.
Brother.
How are you going to feel, Guyana, when you don't get a taste of this sweetness with these two monies that paid? When the real one's supposed to pay, how you going to feel? But how you going to get it if you sit back and relax and just smile and let them do what they want? You think you going to get it, Guyana?
My friend, a reporter came to me this afternoon selling me, he got some barbecue, selling me a few tickets. And I asked him, I said, this is what you're doing? This is what your life turned to? He said, no, Glenn, I am building my home. And I said, I looked at him and I smiled. I said, my gosh. I said, but if you really understand, if you listen to my Friday night program, which I do send it to him, a reporter, a senior reporter too. And I say, if you only listen to it, you're going to see that you house losing $1 million a day. If we only plug up some loopholes. And he kept looking at me. And I am like, oh my gosh. And this is a reporter, my friend.
Yeah.
Reporters in this country doesn't understand what's going on. How much money they're losing. So don't be upset with the Guyanese people if they don't understand. I've had a nice program Friday in which I show when Jagdev tried to put down the coalition, when the coalition talk about $1 million a year for each household. I show Guyana how you can get $1 million, each household can get $1 million a day.
I listened to it and I tried calling in, but I didn't get through.
Yeah.
Tonight I got you, and it's like, when are we going to wake up?
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, Mr. Lam, have a good night.
We had another program that's showing me a sign to get off the radio.
All right.
All right?
Good night,
Thanks,
sir.
man. Stay in touch. Have a good night.
I will. I do.
All right. I love you all, Guyana. Let's go, Josh.
Good night, everybody.